is done about the side effects of birth control, of which there are many. It is literally a trend on TikTok to unroll your huge sheet of side effects for your birth control and lay under it like a blanket.
Wow, it's not like every single medicine has a huge list of potential side effects, right? It's not like it's a legal requirement.
Very well-respected study, and a lot of people know about it. And this article brushed it off and said, well, doctors also say that depression and suicide increases in pregnancy, so it's fine. So women are just doomed to be depressed regardless.
That's how you know. That is the nail in the coffin right there, ladies and gentlemen. We read the article. They mentioned how there's also risks of depression in pregnancy and that there was a new study that contradicted the study that you just referenced. You didn't even mention that. You didn't even bring it up. You're the one brushing past the damning evidence that contradicts your bullshit. And this is a video by our favorite person, Brett Cooper, formerly known as Brett Cooper. This one is called Stop Playing Politics with the Pill. And I have no idea what this video is going to talk about, but I have a feeling she's going to be anti-birth control in this one, so I'm very curious to see what she's going to say. What is the argument she's going to make? What kind of hell are we in for? Let's brace ourselves and find out.
Section, I'm Brett Cooper. Apparently, NBC had not pulled enough right-wing hate pieces out of their asses recently, so they published a new steaming pile of crap for all of us to laugh at and all of us to share on social media. But this time, it is about birth control, which is shocking because it's usually about Trump.
Orange man bad.
Orange man bad.
Before we get into it, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this.
All of it is, it's just like a corporate reproduction of the same thing over and over and over again. And then they make the jokes about the liberals being the NPCs, but it's like, you people have been using the same exact jokes for the last fucking 10 years. Like, you're still using the same jokes. Anybody's repeating everything like an NPC, it's you people. You just get your new chip from the Daily Wire or another one of these corporate talking head degenerates, and then you just run with it. It's embarrassing.
On July 2nd, and they wrote, major conservative influencers have coalesced in recent months around talking points that connect birth control with a variety of negative health outcomes, which experts say instill fear in women who could otherwise benefit from using birth control. And somebody commented, LOL, that darn science is allowing those damn conservatives to create talking points. Obviously, we're going to get to this later, but do you actually think that this is about health or truth, or do you think it's them wanting to fuel a greater political divide and make us all look terrible? But I did read the article.
Can we just find the article first? Because now I'm really curious about this. Major conservative influencers. Okay. They fail to include recent scientific developments. Many videos point to a 2018 study that found an association between taking hormonal birth control and suicide attempts and suicide in women in Denmark. But researchers and physicians who have cited the study have urged patients not to stop using hormonal birth control. Rather, healthcare experts have said that doctors should discuss any potential mood effects of the medication with patients, as other studies have contradicted the 2018 study. And pregnancy can also have mood side effects. Ashley St. Clair, oh, I remember her, who has more than 673,000 Twitter followers and is a complete brain-dead bimbo, referred to the association suggested in the study in a tweet in which she said, did you know the birth control pill increases risk of suicide and suicidal ideations? Just reading the 2018 study's abstract and drawing conclusions from that alone is lacking crucial context when making medical decisions. Primarily, she said, the risks of contraceptive use are not compared to the same risks in pregnancy, which she said are higher. So is this it? Is just bringing up this one study? What's the one that contradicted it? So this is one that came out in June 2022. Women, especially younger women, have higher rates of depression. The researchers from the university, compared attempted suicide rates of hormonal contraceptive users and non-users using data from the 2017 to 2019 period. They took results from 587,000 women, which represents around 50% of the total number of women in the 15 to 49 age group in Finland. Half of these women had used hormonal contraceptives, including pills, implants, patches, and rings. The research team found that attempted suicide rates between hormonal contraceptive users and non-users were similarly high in women between 15 and 19. But suicide rates dropped in older age groups, with a greater drop in hormonal contraceptive users relative to non-users in the 20 to 24 and 25 to 29 age groups. In total, the researchers saw 474 cases of attempted suicide in women who didn't use hormonal contraceptives, with only 344 attempts in women who used hormonal contraceptives. Women not using contraceptives had a 37% greater odds of attempting suicide in comparison with those using hormonal contraceptives. Okay. So now we know what the actual article is saying, and we know that the article is also providing better data showing that the birth control rhetoric is very, very much incorrect, misleading. So now that we're actually a little more clear on that, let's keep going.
Well, that darn science is allowing those damn conservatives to create talking points. Obviously, we're going to get to this later, but do you actually think that this is about health or truth, or do you think it's them wanting to fuel a greater political divide and make us all look terrible? But I did...
Don't worry, you don't need NBC to make you look terrible, okay? You have you, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool. I mean, you have them all, okay? You got all of them.
But I did read the article, and in regards to the conservative folks that they referenced, they were actually spot on. Like, the article was not that crazy, because everything that these conservative influencers have been saying is actually very accurate and very balanced. Like, they brought up Alex Clark, who is a TPUSA, and she does politics, and her podcast is Spill.
Alex Clark is one of the most cringy human beings to ever exist. I don't even know how or why, if there is a God, he would ever allow such a fucking abysmal creature to evolve and then exist in the same plane of existence as me.
Over is one of my favorite podcasts, and she is very vocally, against birth control, and they quoted her in this article and said that Clark wrote, "Birth control can be right for some in some cases, but we shouldn't just take it blindly because of acne, and we shouldn't treat it as the default for all women." That is a very rational and balanced statement.
Are you going to actually talk about the meat of the article, or are you just going to be like, well, look at the one little quote wasn't actually all that bad,
How is that a conservative take? How is saying maybe 14-year-old girls who aren't having sex shouldn't be prescribed birth control? How is that?
Okay. This is exactly why you don't understand the point of birth control.
Crazy and divisive and political.
Let me break it down for you, Chief.
Some women will choose to take birth control. Maybe they actually do need it. Maybe that is the best option for them, and that is totally fine. The important thing here is that women should be able to make informed consent. And right now, a lot of women are not able to. The problem is that doctors offer us informed consent for them, and that is totally fine. The important thing here is that women should be able to make informed consent. And right now, a lot of women are not able to. The problem is that
the article that you are fucking whining about in this video directly said just that, where they say, oh, I'm glad I'm looking this up. Brett Cooper is lying through her fucking teeth right now, Remember she just showed us that quote from the article where Alex Clark sounded kind of balanced? Well, she left this part out. The progressive watchdog publication Media Matters for America First reported that Clark said her mission is to get young women off this pill. In a response sent in a direct message, Clark wrote, birth control can be right for some in some cases, but we shouldn't take it blindly. So she just showed that, left the fact out that Alex Clark has said it's her mission to get people off of this pill. That's actually contradictory, because if it's right for some people, why is it your mission to get everybody off the pill? How does that make sense? Alex fucking idiot Clark? Please, explain that one to me, okay? Oh, I love that so much. That she left out this incredibly crucial part that actually does show Alex Clark being unhinged. And now it makes the quote that you tried to present as her being very level-headed, woo-woo. It makes that quote seem even more dumb because it completely contradicts what she's originally claimed her mission is. Second of all, you say, well, why shouldn't people, they need to have informed consent. Why are you saying this, but yet ignoring that the article you're crapping on advocates for the same thing? Researchers and physicians who've cited the study have urged patients not to stop using hormonal birth control. Rather, healthcare experts have said that doctors should discuss any potential mood effects of the medication with patients. That is informed consent right there. That's let us explain all this. Sit down. You are informed of the possible side effects, so then you can make the best decision. This is literally what the article is advocating for. The same article that you're crapping on. This is why I know that Brett Cooper is a dishonest, subhuman piece of garbage. Because she never would be able to be this fucking stupid if she wasn't either brain dead or a grifter or both.
Doctors offer us birth control as a fix-all. You have acne? Try birth control. Your periods are painful? Great! Let's give you something to chemically suppress your hormones that make you a woman. Oh, you're gaining weight. Let's try...
Wait, what? Whoa! Did she just say the hormones that make you a woman? What happens if a trans woman gets hormones? Oh no. Who edited this? Who signed off on this? Who signed off on this? Suppress the hormones that make you a woman? What the fuck? This, by the way, is why you fall into all these issues with this biological essentialism. So now are you unironically telling me that if a teen girl gets on birth control and it suppresses a degree of her hormones, that she's becoming less of a woman? It shouldn't be offered as a fix-all, but birth control can help in a lot of these ways, right? Can't they help with painful periods and acne and whatnot? If that's an option, I don't see why that would be a problem. You haven't demonstrated that there's really a harm that comes from this. The only thing you have is the one study from 2018, which the article discussed, and then also offered a new study, which completely contradicted the old study.
A different form of birth control. It is totally fine to take a pill that chemically alters the very hormones that make a woman a woman. This is not just
She just doubled down on the same statement. So do those hormones need to be naturally occurring in order for that person to be a woman? Or is it just those hormones that make somebody a woman? So if a trans woman gets hormone replacement therapy, are they now a woman? Are they closer to being a woman? What happens if a woman, according to you, someone biologically female, is born with a deficiency in a certain hormone? This happens. It's more common than you might even think. Are they not actually a woman suddenly? Are they not a woman enough? Is it necessary that these hormones are only naturally occurring in order for that to be considered, for that person to be considered a woman? Because then what if you have somebody who's biologically female but has a deficiency and needs certain hormone replacement therapy just to get them in line with their counterparts? Could that be possible? Or is that person not a woman anymore? This is bizarre. This girl is so dumb.
An attack on birth control because the right-wingers want a ton of unplanned pregnancies, which is what they were trying to insinuate with this article. It's because after COVID...
This does not imply anywhere that conservatives want a bunch of unplanned pregnancies. Man, she's just lying. She knows her audience is way too dumb to ever look it up to.
People re-woke up to Big Pharma in a big way and realized that it is not for our benefit because Big Pharma makes money when we rely on them, and we rely on them by being unhealthy. We are questioning the entire industry of Big Pharma. And what
well, you're questioning Big Pharma for all the wrong reasons. What do you mean they don't care about you? We had the whole COVID thing. I know that's what she's referencing, of course. One, the vaccine was immensely beneficial for us. Two, you don't even have to look at Big Pharma if you don't trust them, because there are studies internationally that also have found the vaccine to be highly effective. So even if you don't trust Big Pharma, even if you think they're not out for your best interests, which doesn't really make sense because that's why we have the FDA, is to make sure that something that isn't in our best interest isn't just started and given off to the public. But you can look at this internationally too. Like, you can literally just look at it from, okay, let's just ignore Big Pharma entirely. Just like this other thing too. The study was done in Finland, where they looked at, like, where is Big Pharma? Is it a global thing? Is it like mostly an American thing? I mean, you can look at this all over the world, and these studies oftentimes will hold up. It's not like it's just Big Pharma pulling the strings or something.
What they are paid and incentivized to push, and that includes birth control. It is not about birth control and everything trickles down. It is about Big Pharma as an institution. I feel like they would literally say that inhaling exhaust fumes is healthy and good for you if it would make us look bad, which it's not. It is not good for you. And if you want a car that does not put out a lot of exhaust fumes, you need to go to CarZig. Buying a new car.
What? Holy shit. Now we have like a 5-minute ad? Okay.
/Cooper. Maybe you'll even get a nice electric or hybrid car so you don't have to worry about those exhaust fumes. Anyway, this article then brought up the recent study.
Oh, wait, why are you talking about exhaust fumes? Geesh, wait, did you just get bought out by like Soros or something? I thought climate change is a hoax. Why do you care?
Is done about the side effects of birth control, of which there are many. It is literally a trend on TikTok to unroll your huge sheet of side effects for your birth control and lay under it like a blanket.
Wow, it's not like every single motherfucking medicine has a huge fucking list of potential side effects, right? It's not like it's a legal requirement for pharmaceuticals, whatever, to list all the fucking potential side effects, no matter how rare. It's not like that's a legal requirement, right? Yeah, guys, this is unique to birth control. Every other medicine, it's got like, possible side effect. Your tummy might hurt tomorrow, hee. And then when it comes to birth control, it's like, yeah, that's where they have all the possible side effects. This could be done with virtually any fucking medication, Brett. You are a brain dead piece of shit. You're a bad person, and I know that you are smarter than this, so that makes this all the more painful, because that means that you're not just some dumb fuck, which would make this a lot more forgivable, but rather you are smart enough to know that what you're saying is dumb and you're saying it anyway. So just basically, long story short, fuck you.
Look how long these side effects are. People know that. We know that there are side effects. And they tried to brush this off. And they brought up one really important study that was done in 2018, which found an association between taking hormonal birth control and suicide attempts and suicide in women in Denmark. And this is a very well-respected study, and a lot of people
Are they going to bring up the other one? Is she going to bring up the other one? Why are you always so angry? Chill out. Goodbye, Grackle. Mods, please ban Grackle. Whenever I get a little bit heated when I'm dealing with a dumb fuck and then I get somebody in my comment section like whining and being a pussy about me being mean, I would prefer them just being banned, if you don't mind. Yeah, you're not worth my time at that point. Go somewhere else and you can get triggered, okay?
Know about it. Suicide in women in Denmark. And this is a...
I wonder if she's going to bring up the other study, though. We'll see.
Very well-respected study, and a lot of people know about it. And this article brushed it off and said, well, doctors also say that depression and suicide increases in pregnancy, so it's fine. So women are just doomed to be depressed regardless.
I'll die. I'll just die.
Again, they don't actually care about your health.
She didn't even bring it up. That's how you know. That is the nail in the coffin right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is the nail in the coffin. She has just sealed her tomb. She has rolled the tombstone over her tomb, and it will never be opened again. This is it right here. We read the article. The article did not just say, well, they might get depressed when they're pregnant too, teehee. No. They mentioned how there's also risks of depression in pregnancy and that there was a new study that contradicted the study that you just referenced that you said was really well respected. That could be a well-respected study. And now there's another well-respected study that contradicts the study you were mentioning before. You didn't even mention that. You didn't even bring it up. You're the one brushing past the damning evidence that contradicts your bullshit, again, because you know your army of brain-dead simps are way too stupid to actually go and look up the article. Instead, it's pretty girl talking, herder, stroke my dick, and I believe every word she says. But for most people who aren't lacking like a functioning brainstem, we can tell that this girl is nothing but a talking head. She's a demagogue. And that is the nail in the coffin right there, because that is a blatant example of her just being dishonest at this point.
But even the doctor that they were interviewing throughout this entire article, who was on their side, could not deny the truth behind this report, saying that the 2018 Dutch study into suicide and hormonal birth control was really important and well done. Now, some of the things that they did not include in this article were that hormonal birth control has been proven to increase the risk of blood clots and stroke.
One, you're getting your source from a tweet. Two, we already know that there's potential side effects. Potential side effects, though, are different than a guaranteed side effect. But we already know that these side effects are a thing.
Blanket-sized side effects paper. But doctors never tell you any of that. That's the problem.
True,
they expect you're going to go home.
That's exactly what they do. The doctor's just like, oh no, there's literally nothing wrong with birth control at all. She is just so dishonest. I'm actually surprised.
And read all of those things before you take it. No, they just say, this is great. This will fix everything. And they don't give you any other options. And that is the other problem.
She's just making this up. Thank you, Dr. Cooper. You've been very helpful. Thank you for enlightening me with all this. How much longer do we have to deal with your grating voice and your shrill bullshit just spewing lies at us? Please, get done with it already. Go back to Starbucks.
Educating women about their bodies and empowering them to make the best decision for themselves, they push these drugs starting at age 12, 13, 14 for girls who are not even having sex.
They're 12.
Then finally, they talked about natural family planning and...
It's that... Again, you just talked about how it's also given for acne and periods and whatnot. It's not just about whether or not you're having sex. You already knew this. You just said that earlier.
Cycle tracking, which is increasingly becoming more popular as people turn away from birth control. People who are not even conservative, people just in general, are turning away from birth control. They said, according to the Mayo Clinic, fertility cycle tracking is among the least effective types of birth control, and that effectiveness varies by couple. It said that as many as 20 note is that natural family planning is not just a birth control, but couples also use natural family planning to get pregnant, to cycle track, to figure out when the woman is ovulating so that they can have a baby. So I don't totally trust these numbers. I would look at some other reports just to actually figure it out.
Of course she doesn't. Of course she doesn't. Doesn't trust anything that might be inconvenient for her, you know? If it's a Reddit post or a tweet, then she's all over it. But the minute it's a fucking respectable medical institution, well, suddenly Dr. Cooper here has a little bit of problems, you know? She'd like to flex her medical license as she further investigates this.
Also, it is true, cycle tracking, natural family planning, it comes down to how dedicated you are and how detailed you are. But I mean, it's that, or, remembering to take a pill every single day at the exact same time. If you wonder why women have little...
Oh, no. Yeah, and those damn women, they're far too flighty and stupid to ever remember to take a pill every day at the same time. Those goddamn women, they don't know what's up. Why are you skipping? Because I really want this to be over.
Alarms on their phone? That is why, because it is so detailed down to the minute that you have to take it every single 24 hours. They also said a 2021 study of period tracking apps for fertility planning found that out of 10 apps used, all of them gave conflicting dates of fertility, most of which were incorrect. As one commenter pointed out, they didn't acknowledge that no birth control is totally effective. This lady said, what bothers me about this article...
I'm going to just be done with it here because I can't. It's not worth me expending this much energy and getting so mad at something so fucking brain dead. But in conclusion, Dr. Brett, very true. Shame on them for not mentioning that this medication is not 100% effective. As we know, all other medications are 100% effective. As you know, there is no other medicine besides birth control that's not 100% effective. So is this woman promoting cycle tracking despite being less efficacious? Potentially, which is even funnier because then that leads to more unplanned pregnancies, which then leads to more abortions, but then she'd be up here bitching and whining and moaning about there being more abortions. She's just an overall subhuman piece of shit. I actually hate this person, and I hope that she has a very, very miserable, bad life. But anywho, that's Brett Cooper. Or the exact reason why I call her Brett Cooper.